Hey, welcome back to the PDU. This is the podcast that's going to help you. In this particular episode, would it be important to you to actually start working on your dreams, the dreams and the wishes that you haven't started, the dreams and the wishes that you know if you did, it would change your life. It would give you pleasure, satisfaction, fulfillment, passion. Would that be important? That's what we're going to do here. And a load of hows to change the way you're feeling or you're not doing, your procrastination, and get on doing that stuff. Go have a listen after this.
Warning.
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 Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
Hey, so you're back with the Personal Development Unplugged podcast with me, Paul. And it's great to have you back and great to have you in this conversation. And it's all about dreaming and dreamers. Well, that's what we are, aren't we? I love dreaming. In fact, I think I sometimes dream too much. And that's what it's about. It's important. I think it's important that we are dreamers and allow our, say, creativity to come through those dreams. And if we can make those dreams or through wishes and then into reality, because if we don't do anything about those dreams, they do, I guess, just become a wish. And wishes just tend to fade away, don't they? But a dream has more substance, has colour. I think maybe I'm just talking about me, but think about your dreams. What are they like for you? If you just pulled up any dream that you have, dream that you want to have happen to you, something you're dreaming about, how does it make you feel when you think about it? Even just thinking about it, when you think about that dream and you're doing it, how does it make you feel? It's exciting, isn't it? I think so. And it gives you that little, I really want to do this. But I'm asking you a really horrible question now. Really, Cluffy? Why would you do that? Because I think it's important. Because if we have dreams, I don't want you to make or let them become wishes and fade away. But if we have dreams, it means sometimes that we're just not doing them. So here's a question. What are you not doing that would excite you? What? Yeah, what are you not doing that would excite you? So it's not a dream, is it? So what are you not doing? Well, it is. It's like that dream. Well, I'm not doing it. It would excite me, but I'm not doing it. What are you not doing that gives you pleasure? Okay, let's go one more. What are you not doing that gives you satisfaction? Anything come to mind? What are you not doing that's giving you that real sense of fulfillment? What are you not doing that would really get you curious about wonderful things? And what are you not doing about finding your passion? The thing that would give you or fulfill that curiosity, fulfillment, give that satisfaction, that pleasure, that excitement. What are you not doing? It's a horrible question, isn't it? What are you not doing? What a horrible question. But I wanted to ask you that because I'm out there right in your face with it. Because if you have a dream and you haven't done it yet, you haven't done it and you're not doing it. And I'm talking about the dreams that you have and you haven't started because they're still wishes. You may be working on a dream, and that's a work in progress now. It's not a dream anymore. It's a work in progress. I'm talking about the wonderful dreams that you have. So one of the things I'm just trying to bring out, and we're going to get over this, is from that horrible question, I'm getting you to admit, I guess, and this is about me as well, that I haven't got it yet. I'm not doing it. You haven't got it yet. You're not doing it. You're not doing them. We're not doing them. I'm not doing them. And how does that make you feel? It ain't so good, is it? It ain't so good. And you know what? I was thinking about this the other day. So I've got a lot of stuff going on in my head and in my journals about wishes and dreams, or dreams becoming wishes, or dreams that I've had for a long time and I've never really pursued them. Yet when I think about them, I know they'd excite me. I know they'd give me pleasure. I know I'd get satisfaction. I know I'd get fulfillment. I know I'd be so curious of what I'd find, and I might even be the next step along my mission to find, all that passion, my ultimate vision. But the thing is, this is what I was thinking, by the way. All that stuff was getting on and making me feel too good. But I was also noticing that I'm being reminded about it all over the blooming place. Because in some ways, you can see them everywhere, and it drives me absolutely ruddy bonkers. It's constantly there in Facebook, seeing all these people doing their stuff. On YouTube, you see people trying to explain things, and they've done their bit. They are living their dream, and it's so easy for them. And because of that, I just don't make. Sometimes it inspires me, but then it doesn't, because they're so blooming good. And it's like complaining. It is complaining, I guess. Comparing was the word I was looking for. Comparing my blooper reels with their 5-star gold medal Olympic whatever. They're up there with that. And then you're also, wherever you go on the internet, you look at one thing and you're getting bombarded with adverts and things, all that they're attached to your dream. But to me, because it's like overwhelm on all the stuff I'm not doing, it just compounds on that negative feeling. Just compounds it. And I just have to admit it even more, and I don't want to, that I haven't got it yet. And I'm not doing it yet. And it's as if it's being shown to me, and it's not within my grasp. Do you feel that way? I wonder, how do you feel? If you don't feel that way, how do you feel? Because you're still not doing that dream, are you? Who you're comparing yourself against, maybe. And to be honest, I think, okay, forget the bit where you're being bombarded with adverts everywhere and things like that. But a lot of the people on YouTube, to be honest, generally, they're very genuine. There's a few scammers out there who have all this fake stuff, but there's a lot of people who really want you to do it. Unfortunately, it just piles on the pressure. And for me, I think, what I feel is, when I was thinking about this, what is this feeling I get when I know I want to do this stuff? Because I was writing it down, and we were talking about Ikigai a little while ago, about the things I love to do, things I'm good at, things that maybe if you need to get it paid for, what can you get paid for and what do people want? And I'm thinking a lot of this is just me, is what I want to get good at, which will give me all that pleasure, satisfaction, fulfillment, curiosity, and passion. But because they're just piling on, and I felt, well, for me, I got a little bit of guilt. And I wondered where it came from. And I thought about this again. And I thought, well, what is this guilt? How is it affecting me? And I came up with some areas where we could look at together. I thought, there was like the imposter syndrome. If I do this type of stuff, I'll just get found out. Be found out for being an imposter. And even if I do get good at it, who am I to get good at that type of stuff? Who am I? Am I no better than anybody else? And I know that doesn't make sense. Or does it? Does it make sense to you? Who am I to have even these thoughts? Because some of these things, certainly the things I'm looking at, I know I can afford to do. But I haven't done them. So it's not money. I'm just not doing them. And I'm feeling guilty. Who am I to do this, maybe? And then I get the other thing, which is a bit of an excuse. I know it's an excuse. It says, well, I'm probably not good enough anyway. But that comes with a little bit like the imposter. Who am I? It gets me out of it, doesn't it? I'm probably not good enough, so why should I even bother? And what will people think of me? I know there's a thing called tall poppy syndrome, where one poppy grows higher than the other, starts to move off, and the other poppies crowd round it and strangle it and bring it back down. And I know my friends, they wouldn't do that. But it's still there in my head. What will people think? Who am I? Imposter. And then I get guilty for having these thoughts. And then I get guilty for not doing the stuff I know I want to do. And it's vicious blooming circle. It's really vicious. And it goes on even further. And I'll explain why. Certainly for me. These are all things for me. But I think this is a little bit of common ground between us. That is if you have dreams and you're not doing them. And I think we've all got those, haven't we? Haven't you? So, you see, I had to think then, what's the intention for me to feel guilty? And for me, it was like, it let me off the hook. I could justify it to myself. I could justify it to myself for not doing it, for putting it off. Yet in the back of my back of my mind, I really wanted to do them. Every time I sit down and look at the things I really want to do, the same things come up over and over again, which is then I get the guilty thing, and now I'm getting guilty for not doing it. And I'm thinking, well, that's the vicious cycle that I see everywhere, the vicious circle. Is your unconscious mind has this wonderful positive intention to like get you off the hook because he doesn't want you to feel guilty. But that guilt is still there. In fact, I now feel even more guilty by having this feeling of not doing it and doing it and justification and all that stuff. And can you see there's a massive conflict? My unconscious mind wants to protect me from feeling guilty of not doing this stuff. And the more it does it, and the more I don't do these things, but it tries to help, I feel more guilty. And that's what I experienced with, it wasn't a surprise to me when it came up, tell you that. Because this is what I find with basically nearly every single one. I don't like generalize because there'll be a lovely client that comes along with break this out. But generally, our unconscious mind is actually doing or making us feel exactly the way it doesn't want us to feel. It wants to protect us from. And I thought, bloody hell. Come on, Cluffy. How long do you have to muse about this to understand it? Because you understand it. So stop thinking about it. Let's start doing something. And I thought, well, as I'm talking now, you see, where are we? We're sort of down a dark rabbit hole, aren't we? But we're a dark rabbit hole with a slight bit of understanding now. Understanding that what our unconscious mind is trying to do for us is actually in conflict with, or what it's doing is in conflict with what it wants to do for us, and that's not a surprise. Therefore, I know it can change because our unconscious mind really wants us to have all that stuff. We just have to show it. Show it how better it would be to let go of that negative emotion. You see, it could be fear. But if you go back to what I was saying, it could be a fear where you get imposter syndrome. You get a fear that who am I and what people want to think. I have a fear that I might not be good enough. And then I get fearful about the whole blooming thing, even though I really know that if I actually got it, it would excite me, give me pleasure, satisfaction, fulfillment. So whatever emotion you're feeling, that's what we've got to look at. So let's look at this differently. Let's just put that aside for one moment and go back to my very first thing, or my very first question to you. When you think of that dream, or those dreams, how does each one make you feel? As if you were doing it, if you dreamt that you were doing it, or have done it, accomplished it, were successful, how would that make you feel? Oh, we're really talking about this old thing of the wish fulfilled, the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That's what it is. It's just a different way of saying it. So going back to that feeling of the wish fulfilled, how do those dreams make you feel? Now, I know I go back to visualization quite a lot, even though I prefer hypnosis. Visualization is a form of hypnosis. You should go into a different state. So you don't need a hypnotist for this either, do you? So what would happen if you visualized doing that stuff? You can start off with the way sometimes I do it, by seeing a you over there, doing and enjoying that dream, doing the work, being it, and then float into it, into that you out there, and actually be in that dream. Or you can just go straight into it. I don't care. And be there. Just imagine now what it would be like. Just pick one of those dreams and imagine now what it would be like. And notice how free of that old feeling, that negative emotion you are. It doesn't exist here, does it? So that means you're totally protected from that blooming old emotion, that negative emotion. And in fact, because it doesn't exist here, you must be getting the positive intention. Or your unconscious mind must be, protecting you in such a way that you get that positive intention in everything you do. And the whole point about this is, because it feels so blooming good, you don't have any of those negative bits. And even if something did come along, you deal with it. Because you're in this wonderful place, this wonderful feeling. Now, when you do that, and we do it often enough, then we can get your unconscious mind to realize that what it's doing is in conflict with what it really wants. And what you really want. So if it wants you to be protected from and away from fear or guilt or any blooming emotion, the dream is the one that does it. The only difference is, yes, you can keep thinking about it. And that would work. But I think it works better. And this is what people don't tell you. They tell you visualize this sometimes, but they don't tell you to add a little bit of dialogue into it, where you ask the right questions. Oh, what type of questions are they, Cluffy? I'll tell you, do you know what? You can write them down, but you don't need to. You just have to ask. What would it be like to let go of that negative emotion and have it this way? Or do you, my unconscious mind, now understand what you've been doing for me is in conflict with your highest intention? And this visualization, this feeling that I have now, this feeling of the wish fulfilled, is it. Would it be okay to let go of that negative emotion and have this instead? And it just works. Yes, you can do a load more. We will talk about doing a load more. But that's it. It's just getting your unconscious mind to understand what it's doing in the past has been the best it can do, but is now no longer appropriate. It's now in conflict with what you and it wants for you. And that's it. Now, sometimes that's it. If you do that often enough, and it's not I have to do it an hour at a time. You can do this in 30 seconds. Just pick one of those dreams. Imagine being in the heart of it. Feel that feeling and ask that question. Would it be okay to let go of that old conflict and be like this? Notice this is in alignment or aligned with your positive intention. And then let it go. And then do it again. And then do it again. And you just just keep adding to it 30 seconds at a time. That's it, through the day. Every minute, if you've got a little 30 seconds, just think of that dream. Think of that dream. Your unconscious mind will get it. Now, the thing is, that's an easy way. But if there's something behind that, that's, I don't know, maybe a little deeper. Maybe this negative emotion is not just attached to this dream. Maybe you feel this emotion in different areas of your life, which really means it's got nothing to do with this not getting the dream. What it means is it's just an effect of this emotion. It's an effect of an issue. So all we have to deal with the root cause of that, and then you can start doing this visualization. And in fact, you'd probably start doing those dreams anyway, scheduling them, committing to them. So what do you do then? What do you do then, Cluffy, if you've realized that, yes, I'm anxious, but I'm anxious about every bloody thing? Well, here's the thing. We've got a program for that. And I'm going to tell you about the programs at the end, but we've got a program about freeing your life of anxiety. Okay, what about if it's, I have this feeling of unconfidence and low self-esteem? Got a program for that. And this isn't just about my programs, but it is, because that's what I do here. It'd be silly me not to tell you about the stuff I do. If you like what I do here, you'll like what I do in the programs. And they're very powerful programs. Awesome processes in there. If you find that it is, say, I've got something which is, I think I need help with, well, then you go to one-to-one. Find a therapist. You know, I've got an episode that tells you all about what to ask a therapist, what a good therapist should do. And the thing is, there's a lot of people working online now because of this blooming COVID stuff. Hopefully, it's starting to come back into the clinic. But the thing is, I'm getting awesome results online. I know a lot of people are. I don't find any difference in the results I get. The only thing I get about doing things online is I can't control the environment you're in. So if someone has a dodgy Wi-Fi, I can't control that. If they're trying to use a phone, which is the worst thing you could do, but try to use a phone and someone phones up at the same time, because you still need your Wi-Fi, but you can't turn airplane mode off and all that stuff. I can't control the environment. I can in my clinic. But is that insurmountable? No, it bloody isn't. Not if you spend a little time about thinking, how can I do this properly? So I just use a PC. I put some earphones in. I tell everyone, do not disturb me. This is my time for 1 hour. And Paul's going to do the work. That's what I do. That's one-to-one, or can see somebody in a clinic. But the thing is, that's when it's something more than just not fulfilling your dreams. Okay. And that's something different. We'll talk about that in another podcast, I think, about looking at that type of stuff a bit more deeper. But this is, even if it is part of a deeper thing, you can still do all this stuff, by the way, because we're only doing positive stuff. You're visualizing positive stuff. And one thing I've always told my clients is, if I'm getting you to think of something good, that is pleasurable, that feels bloody awesome, you can't feel bad at the same time, because you can. You try feeling good and bad at the same time. It doesn't happen. So you can't do anything. We are not exploring in the depths and the dark crevices of things which are beyond us. Mind you, I've never had to delve into that type of stuff, by the way. There's so many better ways to do it. But anyway, that's just to take off any anxiety you have about that. But the thing is, if you can, let's rewind that again, Paul. So I could go and see somebody. I can do what you're talking about right now. I can visualize that stuff. I can ask the questions. Yes, you can. Notice what happens. Maybe you might be dealing with the one thing that just knocks out that anxiety completely, or the guilt, or the whatever negative emotion is. But also, what you can do is, can you identify that feeling? Sometimes it's good to put a label on it. I don't normally put labels on things, but I know people like a label because once they've got a label, it's something they can hold on and then throw away. So it's my anxiety. It's my low self-esteem. It's my lack of confidence. Okay. So here's the thing though. We can smash that out. Here's an easy way to smash it out. I'll do it with you. And it's so simple, but you have to start to do it really quickly. But obviously doing things quickly needs to be done slowly to start off with. But I'll tell you what we're going to do, and then you can see how quickly you can do it. And basically what we're going to do is you just sit in that feeling, that old feeling, that feeling of, for me, it was guilt. Okay, so I would sit in that feeling of guilt. But just beforehand, I just double check on that feeling of the wish fulfilled, those dreams I want, those things I want to have happen. And I'd quickly, just like I told you about that visualization a few moments ago, I'd go into that feeling and feel that feeling. Sometimes I'd even anchor it, finger and thumb together as I really feel that feeling. It's just gently squeeze that finger and thumb together or whatever unique way of anchoring you want to do. And then I just put it to one side. I know where it was because I just put it just to the left or maybe just to the right. I'd even have that movie of me doing it over there. I'd just shrink it down just a little bit. And then I'd bring to mind that negative feeling. Now, the thing is, here's the big thing. You don't sit in that old feeling long. If you want a ratio, it's old feeling, a tiny bit, the good feeling, which we're going to smash it with as long as you want. And what you're going to do is this. You sit in that old feeling and then you bring to mind that movie of the wish fulfilled. Spring it right over that old feeling and feel that feeling of the wish fulfilled. See yourself doing it and feel the feeling again. And then just let it subside. And then you bring that old feeling again, that old negative feeling. And as soon as you start to feel it, whoosh, you have that feeling of the wish fulfilled, that movie, that you. Be there again, doing that stuff. And then just put it to side again. Then you go into that old feeling again, that old negative feeling. And as soon as you start that, whoosh, you bring in that wish fulfilled movie, that you. Have it flood over you. Every cell, every fiber of you just gets that feeling. It just overwhelms that old feeling, that whoosh. And then just take that feeling and put it away again, just in the top right or the top left, whichever you want to do. It doesn't matter. Bottom right, bottom left. Put it wherever you like, as long as you know where it is. And then do it again. Just as you start thinking about that old feeling and you start to feel it, whoosh, bring in that new wonderful feeling of the wish fulfilled. You do it as many times as you like, with many dreams as you like. I don't care. All the good feelings could be just go over the top. Say you got 3 of them. Say you got 3 dreams and you know what they're like. So you get 3 movies of those feelings of the wish fulfilled. So as you get that old feeling, you flood it with the first one, and then whoosh, here comes the second one. Feel that feeling, and whoosh, fill yourself with the third one. And you're flooding yourself with good feelings, and then put them back where they are. Come back to neutral. Do it again. As soon as you feel the old negative feeling, whoosh, comes the first one. Whoosh, and we're into the second one. Whoosh, and you do it faster and faster and stay in that good feeling as long as you can. And let those, if there's more than one, let them all jumble together. Make that feeling so good. Now, you get to do that. The speed is more into as you feel the old feeling, the negative feeling. For me, that would have been that guilty feeling. As soon as I begin to sat and feel that feeling, whew, I bring in those wonderful feelings of the wish fulfilled. And I do it through that visualization to remind my body. And basically, I am flooding myself with good feelings. And every time I think of that old feeling, that old negative, guilty feeling, whew, I flood it again. I am basically collapsing the old negative feeling and setting up a new trigger. Because a new trigger becomes, every time I get that old feeling, it triggers off new feelings, good feelings. So then you have to practice this a few times, getting quicker and quicker. But wow, you could do this in 5 minutes and then stop. Maybe a couple of hours later, do it again for 5 minutes. Maybe on a daily basis, just for 5 minutes a day. Have you got 5 minutes a day? Of course you bloody have. And the thing is, you're setting up a trigger of every time you would think of doing those dreams. If that old feeling comes, it would automatically trigger off those new feelings, those great feelings. If, however, what will happen is it happens so quickly, it's so instantaneous that you don't even realize you even had that old feeling, and it goes straight into the new feelings. And that means you've now got that wonderful feeling of the wish fulfilled, which you can now use for your motivation, your movement, your energy. Now just schedule that work. Because it's no good just, first of all, you've got to schedule doing this, and then you've got to schedule doing those dreams. That's what it's all about. Being part of those dreams now, not just visualize them, but doing them, being them. How do you do that? Well, first of all, write them down. If there's anything that you think can go wrong, write down and think about how you can mitigate that. That's easy. So if this happens, well, I'll do that instead. If this hasn't, I'll pause for a minute and find a better way. And then you schedule, tomorrow I start, or today I start, at 11 o'clock I start. I'm going to put a half hour to do this. I'm going to go and talk to people tomorrow, the next day, and schedule these little steps. And you go back to the 5 keys to success. And I have an episode on that. But I'll tell you what they very quickly are. Know your outcome, which is this, not just the feeling of the wish fulfilled, but that's the end result, but it's that dream, that wish, which is now reality. Then you take massive, intuitive, consistent action. And as you're doing that, you become aware of your progress. Can you speed it up? Do you need to slow it down? Are you on the right track? And if you're not quite on the right track, you have that flexibility. This is step 4 or key for the 4th key. You have the flexibility to be able to access all the resources you need to make the adjustments you need to go back on track to that outcome. Taking massive intuitive action on that, consistent action, continuing being aware and having that flexibility to make adjustments. All with, which is the 5th step or the 5th key, the psychology and physiology of excellence. With a S at the end. And basically that is acting as if. And how do I do that? Well, you've got it in your bloody visualization. That is how you're going to act. Now, if I start acting that way, when I start doing that stuff, I'm actually pulling in that feeling, and my unconscious mind knows this feels bloody good. I'm going to help. I now understand. And you can even say when we're doing all of this, just notice this is aligned with that wonderful positive intention you have for me. I haven't changed the positive intention. In fact, I'm going to quickly talk to your other mind. We won't change the intention. We're just finding better ways for you to keep it. Get aligned, get congruent. That's all you're going to do. There. And as I say, if you need a bit of help, you got one-to-one. I do one-to-one work online. So does my son Luke. So we're available. There's lots of other people available. If you want to know about that, you just send me an email, feedback@personaldevelopmentunplugged.com, and I'll send you some details and we'll have a chat. If not, I've got my programs. And I told you about those. I've got programs such as Free Your Life from Anxiety. I've got one which is Supreme Inner Confidence. And it's inner confidence, not overconfident. It's all about having a high self-esteem and competence. And when you have high competence and high self-esteem, you get supreme inner confidence. And it will allow you to do all of this. And it will get rid of a lot of all that stuff we were talking about. You know, that if there's a more constant negative emotion that's stopping you having that, the program and the hypnosis tracks on there are superb. And there's lots of other, well, not lots, there's probably about 3 or 4 different premium hypnosis tracks, basically, that would help you too. And what I'm doing for that, by the way, the old discounts have now finished. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a discount to you, the listener. So if people are just randomly coming up onto paulcloughonline.com, they'll pay the full price. But for you as a listener, I'm going to give you 40% discount. 40% off the price. All you have to do is put in the code HELL YES, HELLYES. Hell yes, you'll get 40% discount. But more than that, if you want to sign up, or if you've already signed up to the hypnosis tracks, the free hypnosis tracks, and signed up for my newsletter, comes out about once a month, I'm going to make it 50% discount. So it's another 10%. But I'm going to tell you about that in the newsletter. That's coming out very soon. And I'll tell you about that every time you sign up. But you'll get a complete 50% off the total price. And the thing about it is, I always say, you've got nothing to lose other your anxiety or your low confidence, your unconfidence, or your low self-esteem. Because there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, and none of those programs take more than about 10 days anyway, at the most. Maybe 12. I don't know, but they're certainly not anywhere like 30 days. So you can try them, you can play with them, you can notice how well they work. And if you're not satisfied, you ping me an email and you get the money back. You'll even keep, obviously you'll keep the stuff anyway. You just won't. There you go. That's it. So think about that. But more importantly, just decide upon your dreams. Sit down maybe and just look at those dreams and don't even think about just notice that feeling. Notice the feeling. If you had it, this is like a recap now. Notice the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the feeling of having achieved that goal, doing that goal, having all the benefits of that goal. And then notice the feeling you have when you think about not having it. And then what we're going to do is flood that old feeling so it becomes a trigger. We're also just going to notice when we have that thing, just ask our unconscious mind the right questions. Would it be okay with your unconscious mind to let go of the old behaviors and have this instead? Notice we're keeping the intention. There you go. And we just play. Do let me know how you get on, because I want to know. I do want to know. I know it's a faff. Oh, I have to email Paul again. But what happens is when you do this, you are reconfirming to yourself that you have made those changes, because you might know it inside. But when you start telling people, and I'm the first person you can tell, it's in confidence anyway, then you're reinforcing that change. And you'll get a little personal email from me, and if I can, I'm going to give you more stuff from that to make it even better. It's like a little bit of free therapy online. So do that. Let me know how you got on, and if there's anything you need to tweak, and we'll do another episode, or I'll give you some personal stuff there and then in the email. So you've got to do that. Tell people. Start with me and then tell other people. And when I say tell other people, I also mean tell other people about this podcast, about the Personal Development Unplugged podcast, or maybe this issue or this episode. Because it will help them. Helps my little ego sometimes to see the numbers growing. Makes it worthwhile that I think that people are actually getting good stuff from this. I know I'm putting good stuff out there, but you need to take action. So the action is do the work. Tell me. Take action. Those 5 keys to success. Take action. Maybe if you need those help on those courses, get those discounts. Take action by telling me the results you got, what you need, and share. Apart from that, you've got nothing else to do. It's sweet, really, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, you're going to be so good at this. And I can't wait to hear about how good these dreams and wishes become even better than you imagined. What would that be like? And that was going deep inside too. Yeah. Because, at the unconscious level, I don't know whether you'd surprise their conscious mind to feel happy for no reason. I don't know if you will. You can keep it well away from the conscious mind until you just suddenly burst happiness through. For no reason, of course. Getting them to send me that email and things like that. Anyway, have more fun than you can stand. There's going to be a little bit of repetition, I guess. I'll do a little outro just with a little bit of housekeeping, and then you're on your way. Okay. See you soon. Have a look at those discounts. Bye-bye now. Hey, I just wanted to take this moment to remind you, if you need confidence to move from problem to the way you want to live your life, why not try this? My Supreme Inner Confidence Program. It's 3 complete videos and 6 specialized hypnosis tracks to take you from the past, the now and the future to allow you to have all the confidence and competence, your inner strength that you want. If you do, please go to paulcloughonline.com/confidence. You've got nothing else to lose by your unconfidence. There's a money back guarantee. You know I'm going to look after you. I'm going to make sure that you get what you want. So please have a look there. That's all I'm saying. Have a look, see what you think, and I think you might just find this is the program that is right for you. I've developed it for you.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.